But listen,
Respectfully, Your Honor,
Ms. Pugh, don't
when
speak
my
over me.
incarceration
Ms.
was
Pugh, just because you say respectfully does not mean that you get to interrupt me. That's disrespectful, right? Hang on. Listen, Ms. Pugh, stop talking over me. If you want to stop talking over me.
where is the verified claim that is being placed against my trust?
You can go back with the bailiff. Go back with the bailiff. Get your own attorney or represent yourself if you don't like it.
All right, guys. Today we've got a strict judge facing off against a completely clueless sovereign citizen, and it's wild. This woman walks in armed with nothing but a tiny piece of paper filled with the usual sovereign citizen nonsense, like she really thought she could drop some so-called legal bombshells and just walk away scot-free. Spoiler alert. That's not happening. Honestly, I'm just shocked she even managed to read the script. This one's about to get messy. Let me know in the comments what you think about this bizarre courtroom showdown, and let's dive in to see how it all...
Are you Janetta Pugh?
I am the beneficiary of that estate.
You're the what?
I am the beneficiary of that estate.
You're the beneficiary of what estate? Answer my questions, please, ma'am. I'm just trying to understand.
Beneficiary of the estate.
Okay.
For the record, I recognize Ms. Pugh. She's been here before.
I do as well, for the record.
And I looked into Mr. Christopher Wiley. I can't find that person as a practicing lawyer in the state bar page, and I have not been contacted by anybody on Ms. Pugh's behalf.
All right, so Ms. Pugh, Mr. Lewis has been appointed to represent you at this point. Obviously, you know as well as anyone that you're in custody and we want to get your case taken care of. If you've hired or your family has hired another lawyer, then they have to contact the court so that we can do something with your case. And do you know if they've hired someone?
Respectfully, Your Honor, I do not agree with your appointed foreign agents, considering that the first duty is to the state and will be considered conflict of interest. You know?
Okay, so if you don't want, the only thing I can do, I'm appointing an attorney to you to help you, right? So if you don't want a court-appointed attorney, then your only option, two things. One is to represent yourself or to hire a lawyer. So if you don't like the way it works, then you do something different. So are you, listen to what I'm saying. Are you either going to represent yourself, or are you going to let Mr. Lewis represent you, or are you going to hire someone?
Objection, Your Honor. Respectfully, is this a court of record?
It is a court of record. So your objection's overruled.
Okay. Respectfully, Your Honor, where is the verified claim that is being placed against my trust?
It's right here. It's called an indictment. And Mr. Lewis has a copy of it, and he can show it to you. So that would be the verified claim against you.
Okay. Your Honor, respectfully, Your Honor, there were writs that was filed to the case that still haven't been received.
I've received your petition for writ of habeas corpus, and it's denied.
Okay. Respectfully, Your Honor, I demand to be released due to lack of evidence of stated claim and not being given the proper opportunity to obtain proper counsel, defective defense.
It's overruled.
Okay.
You're running out, aren't you?
No.
This is definitely not fine. You're making a complete fool of yourself, and we're all here for it. I have to say, though, I'm loving this judge's attitude. She's just sitting there, patiently waiting for this girl to run out of steam from her nonsense sovereign citizen script. It's honestly hilarious. These people always think they've unlocked some secret legal cheat code, but newsflash, that's not how the law works. Courts have ruled time and time again that saying I don't consent doesn't magically erase charges. That's just not how jurisdiction works. But honestly, I can't help but wonder, how did she even get to this point? What was her thought process? She actually seems polite. She's even saying, Your Honor. But it's painfully clear she's completely lost, just grasping at straws. It's one thing to read the sovereign citizen script, but to actually try it in court, that's next-level delusion. What do you guys think? How does someone fall this deep down the rabbit hole? Let me know in the comments and let's jump back.
Ms. Pugh, I appreciate your position, but listen,
Respectfully, Your Honor,
Ms. Pugh, don't
with my
speak over me.
incarceration- Respectfully, Your Honor, with my incarceration.
Ms. Pugh, just because you say respectfully does not mean that you get to interrupt me. That's disrespectful, right? Hang on, listen to me. Everything you have there is overruled. And here's one of the reasons why, is because you have a lawyer. And your lawyer will file the appropriate motion. You're interrupting me again, which is disrespectful. So I'm going to leave Mr. Lewis as your attorney unless you choose to represent yourself or hire someone else. I'm going to give you 2 weeks to determine what you're going to do. You can go back. You can go back with the bailiff.
I do not agree or comply to your appointed.
Go back.
Agents.
You already said that, and that's overruled.
Duty is to the state.
Go back with the bailiff. Get your own attorney or represent yourself if you don't like.
Wow, that was embarrassing. But hold on, because this saga isn't over yet. Believe it or not, this sovereign citizen actually comes back for another hearing. And don't worry, I've got that one lined up for you too. At this point, I feel like the judge deserves an award for patience. Arguing with a sovereign citizen, like this is basically like debating a brick wall. Except the brick wall thinks it's a constitutional law expert. Gotta give credit where it's due. The judge is staying calm, snapping back when needed, but still keeping it professional. Honestly, she's handling this way better than most would. But what do you guys think? Is she being too patient or is she handling it just right? Drop your thoughts in the comments and let's jump into the next hearing because things might get even more heated from here. Let's dive in.
So, Ms. Pugh, Mr. Jeffries has been appointed to represent you. He's just been given, he's trying to get caught up real quickly on all the information and the discovery in your case. I'm going to reset your case so that he can get all of that. Once he gets it, he'll be out there to go over it with you, and we'll see if we can get an announcement at the next court date.
Respectfully, Your Honor, I do not agree to comply with any of the appointed court agents, considering that their first duty is to the state.
I understand. We've had this conversation before.
Conflict of interest. And for the record, I'll be representing myself.
So if you want to represent yourself, there's some things. Ms. Pugh, stop talking over me. If you want to stop talking over me. If you want to represent yourself, then there is a process that we have to go through, and we'll do that today. If that's what you want to do, we'll get your case set for trial and we'll go forward that way. It is highly inadvisable for you to represent yourself. Lawyers have many, many years of training. They understand the law. They understand how a trial works, because here's what happens. When you're in a trial and you represent yourself, you're expected to know and follow all of the rules of evidence, all the rules of procedure. And so you're really at a disadvantage if you don't know those things. And so you have to do everything just like the assistant district attorney would. And if you don't, you're going to be in front of a jury and it's going to show, and it's just not going to be, it usually does not work out in your benefit. But I have to go through with you some questions first before we do that. And then if you still want to do that, then there's a couple of things couple of options, and we'll go over those as well. Okay. So I am supposed to ask you, I'm going to go through these questions. I need you to answer them if you want to represent yourself, because this is required. All right. So have you ever studied the law? Okay. Have you ever represented yourself before in any kind of criminal matter? Okay. Do you understand the charges against you?
I know we've been accused of.
Okay. And so do you know, and we've gone over before, I think, what the range of punishment is if you're found guilty on a jury? Do you know what that is? Let's see. Hold on a second. Let me pull you up here. We'll go over that again as well. The date of that allegations from June 22nd of 2021. And what that means is if you're found guilty, that the range of punishment that the jury could give you is between 2 years as a minimum punishment up to 10 years in prison, anywhere in between. Do you understand? And you answer out loud just for the record.
Do I understand? No, I don't understand.
What do you not understand?
All right, guys. Today we've got a strict judge facing off against a completely clueless sovereign citizen, and it's wild. This woman walks in armed with nothing but a tiny piece of paper, filled with the usual sovereign citizen nonsense, like she really thought she could drop some so-called legal bombshells and just walk away scot-free. Spoiler alert. That's not happening. Honestly, I'm just shocked she even managed to read the script. This one's about to get messy. Let me know in the comments what you think about this bizarre courtroom showdown, and let's dive in to see how it all